Hi, my name is Anna-Lena and I'm doing another video on my twin flame journey. So today I want to talk about the deepest wound, the biggest hurt, the most painful experience that I had on this journey. And I have come to see it as almost the feeling of the original split, the original separation. And this happened the second time that we met up, and I traveled many miles to see him. And it was 9 months since the first time, and during those 9 months I had changed. My body was in a lot of pain, and I had put on weight, and my hair had grown really long, but we managed to meet up. I managed to go and see him, and then upon meeting up, everything had changed, and I would just basically feel he was rejecting me and not really there. And after a couple of days, I sort of asked if we could talk, and we did, and that was when he just could tell me that this was an absolutely no-go. It would never happen. Never, he could never be with another woman ever again, and him and I were nothing. And I managed to ask what happened since Easter. Obviously, that was the first meeting, and he said some things about that, and I was just torn apart, devastated. I felt so much hurt, as if my heart almost was ripped out of my body. This area here was just, I was feeling that of deep hurt. And I was many miles away from home, and I did not have money to stay on a hotel or to buy a ticket back home earlier, and I was too proud to ask anyone to help me with the money to go and stay somewhere else. So I searched the internet because I thought, okay, there's no reason for me to stay here now, so I'll do what I can to go and stay somewhere else. And I searched the internet, and I found a retreat place about 2 hours drive away from where we were, and they had a Vipassana meditation starting the next day, and I was doing whatever I could, calling the people there if there was an available space. The thing is that it was on donation, so I thought, okay, I can always pay them back later. And I was very close to being able to go there, but then, of course, Spirit was at work, and the internet connection didn't work that afternoon, and so I wasn't able to go there. And so my next option was to go stay on the beach while I was there, and I seriously considered it. But with my huge blue suitcase to stay on the beach, I thought, no, it's not gonna work. So the opportunity was really okay to see what can I do, and then a change took place, and I went up. It was as if I was in another state of being. It was as if I was in my own bubble, and it was peaceful and loving, and it was caring, and it was full of acceptance of the situation. Um, it was help from the other side. It feels like help from the other side. And I could just be and exist, and we'd still be in the same apartment, but his presence would have absolutely no effect on how I felt. It was as if the first time we met, we were in this perfect bubble together. And the second time, I was in my own bubble. So, coming from that feeling of being torn apart, also the confusion that came with it, what had happened since the first meeting. I know I had changed. And then going up, it was as if I was being protected. And when I went home, then we ended up spending 10 wonderful days together. We had a great time. He could sense the shift, and I was absolutely no threat to nobody, not to him, and he could sense it. Still, as I went back home, I had totally accepted that, okay, this is it. This is the end. This is no more us. And I was happy to go back home. And I said, okay, so this is goodbye then. And he took me to the airport, and still he'd just look at me and he'd say, oh, but I think we'll see each other again soon. And what? So coming from this experience, what happened? As this was really crucial, it was crucial, and to be able to move on from that point and to understand how did it get to a total rejection of the two of us. It was as if feeling that my heart was torn apart, ripped out of my body. It was as if it was the original split, the original separation. And as I looked into that episode, that moment, that very, very crucial moment, what a turning point that was. Another timeline started to appear. Another lifetime And the more I sort of asked into it, the more I was able to see what was that about. I see a situation where I leave him and I cause the same kind of pain. I cause the same kind of devastation that I experienced. So having these insights, it makes it so much easier to move on and to forgive and to experience something that seemed kind of weird at the time. It sort of makes sense from another dimension. If you're having one of these really intense connections, if you're going through a journey like this, and something has happened which is really hard to understand, what was that? What was that? So it's in the human nature to ask questions. There can be a completely different version of what happened, and it can have something to do with other timelines, things that has happened between you in another timeline. Being hurt like that feels a bit like ground zero, and it was quite a while ago now, years, 2-3 years or something, and still I feel it's important to talk about it. I wish you a beautiful day. Take care and be blessed.